just a touch ahead of eUnited, but eUnited could definitely throw them for a loop.
All right, well, let's find out which team is going to reign supreme today, and more importantly, which team will be able to survive to play another day here in the North American League, and which team will have to fight for survival a little bit later on in the season. Really interesting ban coming off the bat here from eUnited, as Zofia, of all operators, is going to get taken out of the pool.
That's going to make things really awkward. So Zofia offers a lot of utility for clear. We might honestly be seeing a Wamai ban here by Tempo Storm. They're thinking through it right now and mulling this over, and they absolutely should be. This is one you don't see every single day, and it's going to limit a lot of things. Tempo decides to take away the Thatcher, so all of the hard destruction alive for our Villa matchup. Let's see what our defensive ban's going to be here. I'm very, very interested in this. This is going to change up a lot of things. It's going to be the Maestro again. So Maestro and Echo going to be off the board.
Final ban coming in a moment. This is eUnited's pick. So the same team that chose to ban out Zofia a few seconds ago is now going to choose to eliminate Melusi as the final ban. This one makes sense. There's a lot of choke points where you can put Banshees and really, really slow down the attack if they're well positioned. So this is a very strong choice, especially considering as well here that Zofia is now gone. So usually one of the easiest options to get rid of those is also no longer in the pool.
Okay, guys, well, Aviator Game's going to be the very first room here for United as they start on defense here on Villa. Offense, look at the lineup here. Jackal, Nomad, Sledge, Ash, and Ace. So obviously not going to be seeing that Zofia since she has been removed. Seems as though they want to stick to more of a smoke-centric setup here. We do have the Jackal as well as the Ace to assist with that. The Jackal pickup probably for the roam game that we're inevitably going to be seeing, but we are going to 6-pick off of that. Honestly, not a bad thing at all, especially for this site. The downstairs presence is easily you can easily handle it in a bunch of different ways. Jackal is not needed to clear a roam game as much as everybody would love to think about that inside of gold elo, but here at the competitive level we have a lot of drones and a lot of good players to clear that out. So bringing the buck is going to open up the playbook quite a bit for Tempo Storm. They have a lot of soft destruction here with the Ash Sledge Buck combo, but the most notable way would be through that vertical play with Dream. So if they get a lot of intel on what's going on site, we could see a lot of things handled through that vertical play instead.
So since Wamai was left in the pool, we're more than likely going to see that usual top stairs hold that's been a thing for most of Stage 2, and I think even Stage 1 as well. There's the reinforced shield to play off of there. Kansan, of course, will be the one to play onto it. He's got an ADS sitting behind the shield and partially on main stairs to support him. And of course, he can chuck out a few magnets as well, should the need arise for those, in addition to the barbed wire that's sitting at the bottom of the stairs. So away from that, this is pretty much just your standard setup here in terms of defending aviation in games. Doesn't look like there's anything insane happening. I don't think we have the 90 set up. We check 90 real quick to see if they've done the shield over there. Doesn't look like it. So no, that's going to be left open for the most part too. And with that being said, like I said, it goes right back to what I was talking about before, where United are for the most part just going to play into a standard setup away from that top stairs hold, which even that's pretty much just been incorporated into the standard setup at this point.
Exactly. We're still going to have the members across the map that like we're used to seeing as well. So United probably not going to die on this hill, but are definitely going to be capable of getting some picks here as Yeti's playing very aggressive on concrete. He has a lot of options for himself as a stun grenade comes in, reels that MPX in as he fires some bullets through the door frame, but not able to get anything. Tempo Storm slowly lurking up towards the door as Rexon still in tow with Yeti, doing a very good job of delaying this take from Tempo Storm as they're stuck for the time being. Mark on the astronomy windows. They could inevitably shift over here if they need to handle this from a different angle.
Rex in a bit of a pre-fire as he falls back through the cross angle by Bathroom. That pre-fire is going to open up a room for creators to swing through in the meantime, and that gives him the angle onto Yeti. Does give him a partial angle onto the player holding inside a trophy, which is Rexon as well, but Rexon realized he's in a bad spot now. He's going to dodge out of here. I believe he's also out of ammo on his primary, so he had to switch over to the sidearm there, and that's another reason why he more than likely had to fall back here. Dream still very much trying to hunt this player down, though, in addition to taking out utility, and more than likely he's not the only one trying to do that. Rexon needs to realize he's still in the hot seat here, and I'm pretty sure he's well aware of it, but that doesn't mean he can stay alive. Jarvis gets the lineup on him through the top of Astro, taking down Rexon and continuing to push the advantage for Tempo even further.
Big pickup there for eUnited, as that means that Rexon can't reassign any of these ADSs if he was able to get back to site. They're still going to have to go through quite the burn process to handle all of this, but apparently Kansan not thinking that Tempo was all the way up inside of the 90 already, and Mark steps out, bags himself a frag, and able to now get some work done onto the wall. This is looking like Tempo's round painted all across these walls. Frag grenade into gun vault, not able to do too much. Finally, Alfamo finds a shed of light here as he takes down Mark. Grixer trying to do some work through the soft panel for Study, not able to bag too much just yet, as there's more toxic babes pouring in. That's going to be Alfama's entire kit, as I believe he's thinking someone's planting right now, but that's not the case. Alfama instead rotates into the 90 to try and find anyone down the 90 hallway. Still has one my disc to be able to assist him, but there is a drone that marks him out. Hops back into the vault to assist Grixer as he swings wide but gets eaten alive by creators. Alfama, the last man alive with no toxic babes, has to try and force the opposition. Still stuck inside of games as he swings onto the soft breach, but it's creators to put the last bullet inside of him, and Tempo Storm walk away with first round.
Alfama's got about 3 different players trained on him at that point. As you can see from the tracers here, very little chance he was going to be able to stop that plant, and even less of a chance for him to come out of that successfully with a win for his team. So good start from Tempo. Great work of hunting down the roam game from eUnited. This is something we started to see more and more from eUnited as we got into map number 2, and they started to build up a little bit more confidence for themselves. They started to extend out their net a bit more. That's obviously compounded itself a bit into map number 3 since, hey, they won map number 2, but Tempo very much putting them in their place very quickly here at the beginning of Villa as they take that out right at the start and then have a nice easy 5v3 to work off of past that.
Well, we are going to be shifting 6 picks once again, John. We're dropping the IQ and Dream with the Candelas coming back with the Ying. So we'll see if he is as effective as he was the last time that we saw them bring this. But since that very awkward Zofia pan coming in, we're obviously going to have to see some things that we're not exactly used to. Don't see Ying too often on this map, or really her played ever, but we've seen quite a few teams starting to pick her up on this offensive front, and I mostly think it's due to just how much utility she brings to the table. I mean, 2 smoke grenades as well as 3 Candelas, and even if 1 Candela is allowed to go off, that is still plenty to try and go for and execute. As for eUnited's defensive setup, though, bringing the regular lineup of criminals that we would expect for a trophy stat hold here, as well as those regular reinforcements. Rexon going to move downstairs, reinforce both of the panels inside of laundry, as Grixer is more than likely going to stick downstairs to play for some nitro cells. We do also have some a little bit fresher, as the right panel on the triple wall for Master has been left unreinforced, probably for a long-distance gunfight here for Kansan with that T5 and the 1.5 scope that we've been seeing a lot of pros favoring recently.
All right, so a lot of pressure from Tempo going to come in from Study side off the bat here. Yeti, of course, looking to prevent this, and they should have been able to spot him with the drone run in. They're going to see him in a second. If not, if he tries to take out the drone, I think he got it. It's hard to tell, of course, as we lose the silhouette when they go off drone, so leave that for another day. Either way, Grixer also holding another angle on this one, too. If they try to swing over towards top main stairs to take out the player holding over here by the bookcase, as Rexon is currently doing, then they're going to have to deal with Grixer as well in the process of doing that. It seems they find out Grixer, though, even get a little bit of damage peppered onto him there, so that's going to force him back a bit more, and a few players from Tempo are going to end up repositioning off of that. They just end up going back down and jump on Repel, though, to try and re-peak this a couple seconds later.
Yeah, Tempo not really having a game plan on how to adjust through this currently, and they're almost halfway through the round so far. 1:10 off the board as they begin trying to get rid of some of this destruction, or at least make their presence known on the south side of the map. Yeti and the rest of eUnited definitely know they're coming now as the smoke grenades go down against the soft wall. Rexon still playing inside of games here as he's trying to slow down this take. Currently trained onto the bookshelf hallway. Yeti in tow as well, currently playing inside of 90, doing a bang-up job right now of delaying this offense here from Tempo Storm, as they still have not adjusted their sights. Trying to work in on the other side of the map, though, near top red, as Rexon's actually going to end up lighting someone up, but Yeti able to finally close down onto Dream, but not before Mark's able to pick up Kansan. The pressure's now over towards top red, as eUnited needs to try and find a way to rotate towards these Tempo Storm members. Yeti doing a very good job of shutting this down, but inevitably dies inside of 90 as he swings wide. Mark onto the triple kill as he's picking up so many kills inside of sight right now. Grixer's got to try and pick up the pieces. He motions in towards Trophy, gets aggressive, but eventually slows down, hops up onto the table, and now plays the bomb chassis angle as he inevitably waits for Tempo Storm to make their move. Grixer with some damage onto creators. Nice pickup across the opening here through the arches. Continues on down the line, though, as the diffuser goes back and forth inside of this clutch situation. Mark starts up the plant.
Bricks are very well aware of this. He's going to try to swing out from bomb chassis. He's able to get both of them as well. A massive clutch in the 1vx from Grixer and gives eUnited a round they had absolutely no business taking control of at that point. Beautiful stuff from them. And they're back in the game just like that.
Some insane stuff right there. Did not expect eUnited to end up winning that one out after some disjointed trading going on in between these teams, which led Tempo Storm to be up in man count in that side, inside of that 2v1, excuse me, but still needed to get the diffuser down and eventually making it a 1v1 scenario as someone's dedicated to that plant, and Tempo Storm just not able to win out the gunfight that they needed to. eUnited gets away with a round they never should have had, and now they're headed towards dining and kitchen. Let's see if they can try and stack some more defensive rounds on top of this. We are going to have some interesting 6 picks as well. Most notably the Ying coming back in, but Pulse also along for the ride for the defense as well. He's known for this kitchen setup.
Right, folks, into yet another round here. Tempo definitely not happy with the results of that one, so you can expect they're going to be looking for quick revenge here, but obviously things will continue to differ here as United shift their sights around more and more, and now going to be heading into the kitchen site, which means we're still going to have that upstairs presence on the inside of Statuary and Trophy. You can see the setup being made for that right now by players like Yeti, as they'll still be reinforcing those walls. Won't be to a massive degree, though, as obviously it's just a temporary hold, trying to waste time and prevent Tempo from getting map control more than anything else here. And then eventually those players will have to fall back and defend in the actual site. Just a couple seconds away here from Tempo being let out, so let's see if they'll have better success with controlling the actual sites on this third round.
Well, there's a lot of stuff to worry about for Tempo Storm inside of this eUnited setup. There's quite a few very pivotal positions for eUnited that they've set up, most notably the astronomy setup that they have going on with the shield. Plenty of utility dedicated to that means that they're going to have some very strong areas to hold down this site. Yeti's still dedicating ADSs as well as Jarvis burns through, but that last stun grenade actually not going to get caught by the ADS, and that's actually a good thing. So that ADS is going to stay as potent as it was when it came out of Yeti's pocket, even though Jarvis is down yet another stun grenade. Mark might even think that this is clear and try and dedicate a frag grenade, which would quickly get eaten up. So this is actually a very, very nice setup for eUnited so far, but oh no, some discs now being shot down for Rexon as he's just going to bide his time on astronomy stairs. Let's see how Tempo tries to handle this top setup.
Mark chucking a nade in here really quickly. Rexon, though, able to find a nice shot against Dream somewhere on the top side, I think is where he picked that one up. So goodbye to all the Candelas. That's a lot of utility going right down the drain. I don't think any of the 3 of them had even been used up to that point either. So a complete waste, unfortunately, there. And that's on top of the smokes that was also in the arsenal as well. He's still crazies, too, so they're not completely out of that utility belt just yet. Definitely a lot less than they would have had to use before, and now they're fighting for a man down as well. So they've got to be very, very careful with their fight selection from this point forward.
Slow beginnings here for Tempo Storm as they're now down a man. Jarvis still with some air jabs in his pocket. Will be able to cut up the map just a touch, but not before Kansan goes for the double.
And that's it.
And oh my, that was such a quick finish to this round. eUnited with some very explosive end here as the Nitro Cell is able to bag 2 and eUnited walk away with their second round. So not too much inside of that to really talk about, John. I mean, they eventually get some pressure inside of Master, but eUnited winning every single engagement, whether it be from utility or gunfire.
I mean, they had them read like a book right there. The downstairs pressure never really seemed to get dealt with by the members of Tempo. Don't really think there was much downstairs pressure from Tempo to begin with to clear out the pulse hold on the inside of Kitchen or Tarps, and as a result of that, he's allowed to do all or gather all that intel and eventually get the double kill on the Nitro Cell. Of course, some timing coming into a system on that one, but ultimately works out well to shut down the round even more, and that's on top of the nice double kill from, I think it was the Mira that picked that up as well.
Yeah, I believe it was. Either that or he was on the Goyo. Either way,
I forget if it was Goyo
so.
or Mira.
I believe it was Goyo, I want to say, just because Mira doesn't exactly make too much sense on that site.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
You're right.
So
I just instinctively said Mira when I saw the vector on the kill feed.
if I can deduce this properly, watch it actually be Mira. I'd be so angry. I'd be so mad.
If you can tell,
man.
we're not taking notes on the operators on a round-around basis.
No, listen.
That's actually really hard to do. I have a massive respect for any caster that can do that and not like have it get in the way of their casting.
I know for a fact at least some of the people that I have talked to don't do that. It's just extensive notes on the things that kind of happen on a round-by-round basis, like the big thing that ends up winning somebody around. But I mean, most of my stuff's just prior stuff, like, oh, hey, what happened on this map against this team and so on and so forth. But that's for another day inside of a thing that nobody really cares about, because we care about this. This means a lot in between these two teams. eUnited and Tempo Storm, for those that are just joining us, are both facing relegation, folks. Whoever ends up losing this series right now goes to the relegation match and plays our top team inside of the North American Challenger League. And when that happens, if they lose that map, or that match, excuse me, they end up getting knocked out of the professional T1 area and have to go back down to Challenger League and play through once again. Nobody wants that to happen to either of these teams, but it could definitely be the case. eUnited still up on defense right now. 2-1 is, it's been a pretty good showing so far.
Actually going to fall back after taking out a drone, trying to work its way in through the main door. And this will open up an opportunity for more players to try and get some control to work off of. Dream, of course, still working on the drone game. Not going to be able to find Yeti or Rexon just yet. Both of them seem to be completely pulling back and away from this hold on the first floor, though. So more than likely not really going to get an opportunity to punish those players. They're going to roll all the way back upstairs here and more than likely rejoin their teams on the site, or at least begin roaming on the master side. Away from this, though, not much is happening across the map right now. Tempo just kind of taking that initial map control for free that they were gifted a couple seconds ago. Crazy does get the spot on Yeti, so they know that there's the hold over here. Now they just have to start tearing it apart.
Tempo Storm starting their take here at 1:35. That's actually very, very late in comparison to what we've been seeing from them.
Too.
But
Because they initially weren't even over here. They were trying to go in Master first. Oh no! Rexon just gets a free one there. Jarvis not checking the corner. And as a result of that, once again, eUnited gets off to a booming start here as they get the 5v4.
that's a very, very big problem as well, is that's the air jabs now all gone from Jarvis. So you have to worry about flanks the entire time. And we actually have a pretty good gunfight here for Creators. He pre-fires the shower, able to take down Rexon, but that doesn't mean the air jabs are coming back. I'd take that 1-for-1 any day of my life if I could. So air jabs now gone for the offense. Once again, Tempo going to have to worry about that, or at least assign drones so that Jarvis can watch their flanks, and they still have to worry about this site presence. Kansan still has top control here, and that means it's study control for Tempo Storm, not in their control. They are going to have to worry about this just a touch if they allow any presence to actually rotate into there. But as long as they're able to play the windows, they should be safe for a vault plant. Still have the smoke grenades out, though. And I believe that's still 3. Yes, 3 in Alfama's pockets, now down to 2 since he has expended one of them. So that's going to be quite a bit of prevention as they're trying to put this diffuser down.
A lot of missed opportunities to pick up frags here for both teams where they see the other player but aren't able to click the trigger quickly enough here. Dream and Crazy, they are going to be able to push things forward for Tempo as they find 2 kills and a plant opportunity out of the blue here, and taking out the gun vault player will seal the deal. Creators with a massive round there, at least a 3K on that one, could have been more, but either way, finding all of the impact necessary to get his team into the site, and in the case of their initial loss, get them back into the round in the first place.
Quite a scary, scary showing there from Tempo Storm, but able to pick up the pieces. Good stuff there as we tie it up 2-2. Very nice execute as well, but it was mostly the firepower that was able to win them that round, and instead of the strategy, it was mostly just gunfights. So eUnited headed back to Statue. Can't exactly blame them. That AVG hold has been won twice by Tempo Storm now. They much rather go to greener pastures. We're going to have a 6 pick again from Dream, this time the Jackal. Jackal, very influential operator when it comes to those roam games. We were talking about him earlier, but since Tempo Storm now running into some trouble, well, mainly in the Rexon department, they're going to bring something to try and thwart that.
All right, folks, another hold up here at the double sights. Going to be the trophy hold next for eUnited to see if they can maintain their advantage here before we get towards the end of the initial half, and eUnited will have to jump on the attacking side. Obviously, a straight run from this point will still guarantee a 4-2 half, but if not, and they continue to kind of trade back and forth, we're going to be looking at the 3-3 score line, which won't favor too poorly for eUnited considering their record, but they're definitely going to have to summon their strength when it comes to the attacking side regardless, much as to how Tempo said to do the same for this opening half here, as they're looking to try and get as many rounds as possible. Setup once again, not looking too crazy. We do see the one panel getting left soft over here on the main triple wall that leads into Master, though. That's going to give them some greater capability to play into that. We do also have the double ADS on the inside of Closet, so I would believe someone might be trying to set up the play into that, but that could also be happening in Master Bath based off the shield positioning there, and the ADS might just be trying to absorb. So nope, it does look like they are going to play the smoke on the inside of walk-in, so they will have that commitment there.
Well, Tempo now released out onto the field. Rexon taking a lot of damage initially. Don't exactly know where that was from either. I believe it was actually through the mud window as he crossed through clock.
Yeah, it
So
was poor
actually,
timing.
almost to get a kill early on onto Rexon. That would have been a very high impact frag.
It was almost an accident from the looks of things too there. So not the first time I think that's happened tonight to at least one of the members of eUnited as well. It might have been Rexon that also suffered a similar fate earlier, but either way, Tempo getting off to a good start, at least in the damage department. See if they're going to be able to push that further when they find Rexon yet again. Away from that, very quiet beginning to the game overall here. Tempo definitely taking some control downstairs, but not really trying to move it closer to the sites just as of yet here. The same can be said for Alfama's hold. He's had virtually nothing thrown against him here at the windows, and it's probably going to be a little bit longer before that even starts to change up. The majority of Tempo's force that's actually inside the building is downstairs in that kitchen area right now, trying to set up possibly a down to top angle here. You've also got one on rappel that's going to get spotted by a camera outside. That could be dangerous for later on in the round, but Alfama's been isolated. They know he's here, so he's got to be very careful. If he takes one step in the wrong direction, he could walk right into a player's crosshair that's holding down below in kitchen.
There's a lot of layers to this eUnited setup. We've got presence downstairs, we have presence upstairs. Plenty of things that they can do to try and combat this. Still have ADSs as well, as Dream's going to burn one of them, but not before Grixer's able to get a Nitro Cell kill onto Mark. Mark having such a good showing inside of this series so far, so picking him off early going to be paramount for eUnited. EU still able to slow things down though, as they've wasted 2 minutes off the clock already and still have a lot of pressure throughout this entire map. Yet he can rotate at any time and probably have some really good, fragging capability on these players downstairs inside of kitchen. Now having some of the Selma charges go off, but Alfama not going to be able to prevent it. They knocked the first one off though, as apparently Alfama wanted that hole to be created. So Kansan shoots it off after the first breach, and Alfama's now got some nice visual clarity into this nice little setup, but the upside down rappel actually going to prove to be his undoing, as Crazy takes him down inside of the closet.
Dream looking for an entry point to get back inside of here. Now he's losing all of his teammates, though. This is going to be dangerous for any player to take a step from this point forward here. Leading Guman, but he will quickly get that out of his foot as he moves in. Jarvis also joining things here. Dream with the equalizing kill to take out Rexon, but Kansan and Yeti combine for 3 within just a second or two of each other there to finish off the run for Tempo and give eUnited yet another round on the defense to put them ahead at 3-2, heading into the 6th round, the final round of the opening half.
United's done a bang-up job of sending Tempo off kilter. Tempo's clears have not necessarily been the greatest thing. They get the map control that they want, but the other portions of the map that could influence the round, they really don't take part in. And for instance, the downstairs presence from the Mozzie. Don't have to dedicate necessarily all the drones down there, right? But at least need to know if somebody's going to rotate upstairs. As for the rest of eUnited, just doing a very good job of winning things mostly based off of their positioning and utility usage. Tempo Storm not able to get through very thick setup inside of Master, especially with all of those Legion mines strung about. So for eUnited, it's been a very good showing on this defensive half so far, as they're looking to close this out in 4-2 fashion.
See if they're going to be able to get that done. Final setup phase beginning now here for eUnited, and once again, it's going to go to kitchen, so just a complete run around here. No change-ups, no living room play, more importantly, coming in from eUnited. That'll more than likely change up when we get Tempo on defense, though we've seen quite a few of those living room defenses from them, but that's a topic for the next round, and of course, when we finally see that site selection, if we see it at all. This was played pretty standard by the folks from eUnited, as have most of their site defenses on this map, and I would expect nothing different when it comes to this round's play here. The extended hold working its way over a bit, defend against any pushes from the connector. You can see the reinforced shield on the inside of Trophy there, among other things that the players from eUnited are trying to set themselves up for, so they can try to hold these upstairs rooms for a little bit longer before Tempo eventually tries to take control.
Well, Tempo out on the board. Looks like we're going to be going for a south and north clear here once again, John. Last time not working out too well for them, as we actually ended up seeing Grixer get a very nice clutch, but we won't even be on that site this time around. We're downstairs inside of kitchen. Still going to go for that top clear, though, as it's practically a necessity when trying to put a diffuser down on this site. If United's allowed to keep that control, they can just play that vertical play and end up getting a frag onto your planter. So Tempo Storm need to handle this, and this is going to be the main area of combat for both of these squads. Tempo Storm now out with the drone game is Working towards the top of red is Dream. Looking around for these feet marks, and you should be able to find some initial ones onto Kansan, which should give them a good read on what's been going on.
Minute gone from the round, and much like many of them in this half, it's been pretty uneventful to start things off with here. eUnited not really trying to force the envelope on their roam game to try and pick up kills against Tempo, and Tempo, of course, being very careful about their own positioning. Yeti having to dodge a drone for a moment, and Dream getting the lock on to one of the members of eUnited here. He's going to isolate the position of Wamai, being played by Rexon. Not too much of a problem for him, though. He's in a pretty safe spot, so as long as he doesn't swing too widely in any direction, he'll be good there.
Very unfortunate for him, as I believe the ADS was already burnt, but ended up knocking that ADS off the wall if it was still alive. They still get the pickup, though, onto Yeti, so that means Rexon's got to abandon his positioning on Astronomy Stairs or risk dying. Dream will pick up his feet, though, so now they know exactly where he is, and that means he needs to move. Can't stand flat-footed. Rexon got to worry about that verticality, so you'll see him continue to move around as long as he continues to get hot pinged. Nitro Cell out for the pulse to read off of. Grixer could get Alfama some kills here as Mark is motioning towards it. Might be an explosive finish for Mark. Nitro Cell goes off, not able to get him as Mark dodges back deeper into Master right before the explosive device detonates.
See Dream still trying to set up a top-down angle for Tempo to work with here, just in case someone is trying to hide below. And he's right to assume that. Finds out Rexon because of those holes that have been made. Would have been able to see him through the hatch too, but hey, gets the job done either way. Takes him down, and once again pushes the advantage further for Tempo. Opens up a good possibility that we could see this round be going to the favor of Tempo, but they've got a lot of work to do still. Only 25 seconds to make it happen for them to get into the site. They don't exactly have good positioning, or rather good intel as to how to do this. Kansas going to be able to take out Dream now in an exchange from getting a bit of revenge from earlier. Mark, though, quickly takes out Alfama, but it's not long before Grixer as well is able to take out the planter. Crazy because of the breach in the wall right there. They can see them coming in through Laundry nice and easily. Grixer gets himself another one. Now let's add another one on top of that. Almost gets 4, but Craters finally takes him down, but he's got no time left to isolate this final kill. Oh, he nearly gets him through the wall with nearly 0 intel, but no, he survives on the timer, and eUnited get the round instead.
Extremely questionable decision making there from Tempo Storm, going for the execute and trying to go through the breach. It seemed as though most of their vertical play was centered around dying, which means that they would, well, inherently know that it's clear. So the plant should have went down right outside of the laundry door instead of trying to pressure through the breach over towards Tetris, which inevitably got them killed. So just some miscommunication from Tempo Storm ends up splitting this 4-2 into the defensive favor. Not exactly the end of the world, but overall a nice showing from eUnited, able to pick up a lot of these rounds, not only based off of what they've been able to produce, but some mistakes from Tempo Storm as well.
All right, guys. So United setting themselves up with a good scoreline here to work off of from their attacking side. 3 more rounds separates them from victory here. And as I've said many, many times tonight, ultimately survival in the league for the time being until they get into their next matchup. Tempo Storm now up against the wall on their last footing here to try and keep themselves out of that relegation position. They need to come back as well with a very, very strong defensive halves we've been seeing with them throughout the series. There's still a chance, at least in my book, that they could come back here and take this map for themselves as well. Over here into Aviation and Games for their initial site choice. Just take a quick look at the operator lineup. Not going to, or excuse me, we do have the Wamai, so once again, expect everything to be played pretty much as you would normally expect it here. Crazy. Also jumping himself over onto the Legion means we'll have quite a bit of interruption going in here against United if he's able to place those goo mines appropriately.
Oh, I like the setup that we're seeing from Tempo Storm over on the trophy side, reinforcing the left and right panel, but not the middle, and that's going to help out crazy with some of these engagements here. What were you saying?
Both panels getting left soft over there at Study, by the way, or is it just the one?
It's both of them, actually. Both of them soft, and that's That's actually going to be a pretty big problem because, well, number one, Rexon just rushes up the staircase, able to pick up one. Creators, is he able to follow through? He's not, but immediate refrag here from Dream, and he knows he's down one as well, so Rexon gets picked up from that Toxic Babe. One of the fastest 3v3s I've seen in a very long time, and all of a sudden, eUnited down to Kansan, Grixer, and Alfama. Utility looking quite strong, though. They still have the soft destruction as well as the air jabs to prevent any rotates, and they have hard destruction, so all the boxes checked. But Tempo Storm, more of the same about what we said with eUnited. Their utility looking strong as well.
Mark not going to be able to spot out that drone, so his position and the shield will more than likely get revealed. It'll be doubly confirmed by the drone that just peeked the doorway. Mark going to be found out from the bottom. Nice shots by Grixer, and eUnited now have their advantage back again after that sea of skulls popped up at the top of main stairs at the beginning of the round, and them having to be put into a bit of an awkward spot after that. Crazy, hoping he gets lucky there with a pre-fire out the door, is not going to find. Chucks one of his impacts at the doorway there too, hoping, I think, to knock out some utility or maybe a drone or something, but either way, it's not going to catch much there. And now they'll continue to wait this one out, as, believe it or not, there's still a minute and a half left in this round for eUnited to actually execute.
Well, a lot of the time, but the biggest problem is that they don't have any drones. The only people with drones are Grixer as well as Alfama, and they only have one. So when these drones get shot like that, they're all of a sudden down to one, and inevitably none if Alfama eventually moves his forward. But
Don't mess it up, Alfama.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see how that goes. Still plenty of utility once again for the offense. For this execute, it's really questionable on exactly where they're going to end up going. That was both teammates. Don't worry.
I realized that as you walked by. I was like, oh wait, no, we're good.
No, it's crazy going towards main. Don't worry about it. We're good.
Map 3, we're getting to our end here.
It's all good. Still have some frag grenades underneath as Tempo Storm continues to spin around the site. eUnited not really putting the pressure on right now, and they're really leaning on this timer, and why not? They still have man count in their favor. Dream taking quite a bit of damage from one of those frag grenades, but Crazy gonna get a really, really needed kill. The executes for the top of main, and now Crazy's down to Dream down to only himself as well as 1 HP. This is gonna be a very big problem. No toxic babes. He's able to get the initial frag here, but this might prove very, very problematic. Alfama with an AK-12. So many rounds inside of this thing, but doesn't know he's playing the shield. Oh, the air jab there as well. So either way, Dream probably going to die, but Alfama quick enough to the trigger to catch him before he gets out the door.
Great attempt from Dream. He had a bad wrap about 30 seconds before that fight began because he got hit by the frag grenade from below and got knocked down to such low HP. After that, of course, being hunted down in the 1v2, comes so close to victory and nearly wins it on the timer as well, but it's not to be had on this round. It's closed out by eUnited. They push their advantage even further now with just 2 rounds to go here. Tempo not favoring a replay on that site. We're going to move over to Trophy and Stature next instead.
Very, very awkward round that we just had right there inside of round 7. Mainly due to the main rush by eUnited, just bullying their way up the main stairs. It was handled very well by Tempo Storm, which led to the 3v3, but the amount of time that eUnited had left on the board and the utility they had at their disposal proved to just be too much for Tempo to withstand. Some very nice frag grenade placements, as well as some damage done through other means, ended up just slowly fading Tempo into non-existence. eUnited picking up yet another round here. 5-2 right now as they're starting off the offense looking quite strong. We're immediately going to shift sites though, John, as we're headed over to Trophy and Stat. I like the change up here from Tempo Storm. Things are getting more dire by the second. If eUnited is able to pick up this round, Tempo Storm has to go 5 straight on defense in order to secure only overtime. That's not even the map. So there's a lot on their head right now.
A lot being built up by Tempo and a lot being built for eUnited here. Oftentimes the problem for eUnited is the closeout, but that may not really be much of an issue if they get themselves a 6-2 lead to build off of here. And like you were mentioning, a 5-round deficit between them and their opponents, giving them that many opportunities to try and actually close out the map. Alfama working quickly to drone things out, as quite a few of his teammates won't be too far behind on rappelling up to either the first or second floor to start putting some pressure into the master bedroom and bathroom area, as well as, arguably more importantly, putting some pressure downstairs into the kitchen areas as well, just to try and clear out the roam game, if there is going to be any. As you guys can see there from the silhouettes, there's not much here. The folks from Tempo are playing a very horizontal game right now, with their roam structure being established towards the other second floor site, instead of trying to play down below in kitchen, as we sometimes see as well.
Well, eUnited's lineup looking very similar to what they were bringing prior. We do have Grixer now on the G8. Oh, I mean IQ, my bad. So we'll see how well that works out for them, especially with Grixer running this. Currently 11-4-4, and this guy has not been missing his shots today. Who better to give such a powerful, powerful gun on the offense? So eUnited now having pressure from underneath, and most notably Grixer downstairs. This IQ going to be very influential if she's able to get rid of any of these electronics from Tempo's side. Most notably the ADSs is what he's going to be looking for, as well as these mute jammers.
Our creators with a close hold on the top red stairs too, so he'll sit there and wait for an opportunity to impact. Now they've seen the shots coming from the IQ. They know that there's presence downstairs, but because they have some of these small top-down angles established here, Mark's going to try to utilize those to take out these players from United instead of having actual roam presence down there. First attempt to trick things out there from Jarvis. I don't know if he caught anything. We didn't see the other side of that, but there is a Selma used for Alfama, so I would assume he was successful in taking out one of those. Can he get the second one, though? Is this going to roll in? And indeed, he does. That will prevent the initial breach. He does not have a third impact, though, so the next one from Alfama should be relatively safe, as we also don't have any additional impacts on the defenders. Could throw a Nitro Cell over there, but there's no one nearby to do that, and that would probably be a waste of utility, so not going to use it there.
We've been seeing a lot of teams on defense for this setup bring an extra pair of impacts that have been working out really, really well for a lot of these takes. Really stumping the offense when they run out of those Selmas, but this time not going to be the case. United get the wall open, but that doesn't mean that tempo is all of a sudden going to slow down. Only 35 seconds remain for a plant to happen from eUnited or for everyone to die. We'll see which one comes first. Well, Dream, quite a bit of damage dealt to him, but not enough to actually confirm the frag just yet. He motions out of Astronomy, but oh no, Tempo not worried about the split here as Crazy goes down. Alfama able to take him out as that motion was ill-advised. Kansan pushes it even farther, but with very minimal time left, this plant needs to happen now. Alfama, the man to put it down, but can he motion in? Spray pattern onto the AK, but no, finally able to clean up Mark, but not before the damage has already been done. Grixer going to have to come up big here, but the plant happening. Alfama up against Dream and Creators, not able to get it off as Creators runs in through benches, frags him out, and Tempo Storm stay in this fight.
A surprising win once again here from Tempo Storm. Things look like they were very much under the control of United, especially after they were finally able to get that Selma charge off on the wall. Looked like they had great control, great capability to move in and execute, but a fantastic hold. It looked like primarily from the players that were across the balcony over on the inside of Trophy to be able to fend things back into Tempo's favor and ultimately give them that round instead of United. Great recovery from the on-site Tempo players, and it very much has saved them in this game and makes it, still a possible comeback for them here as they're only 2 rounds behind.
That round overall just it really seemed as though it was inside of EU's favor initially, especially with, as you said, like the walls being broken up and everything after they got the wall open with the ace. But the thing is, for me, is that Tempo just really didn't respect any of the new sightlines that were established by the offense. That was the biggest shock for me on why they won the round. There were so many missteps that happened by Tempo Storm just not respecting what eUnited was doing with the map, and then all of a sudden Tempo Storm with this massive resurgence is able to win almost every single gunfight as they just pour in. So I really don't know if that's just down to how clutch Creators and the rest of the squad can be or what, but I mean, if they can continue doing that throughout these defensive rounds, I can see them possibly claiming this without United getting another one. But to have that clutch ability happen every single round is going to be pretty difficult to try and replicate. We are going to have Mark actually pick up the Mira on the AVG setup. This is something that we don't see every single day, but it's not going to be happening in a traditional means. Initially, when Villa came out, we saw a lot of people trying to play Mira for the study room. Just, a single panel just like that with a Mira setup on it, but it's really not effective. If you've ever done it before, you know exactly why. They just pop the walls open, and now they have so many sight lines into the actual bomb site that no one is safe to play the bomb site. So we don't want that to happen. Instead, they're going to shift the Mira actually over to its own wall inside of the bar to play for planes. I really like the setup that they're bringing to the table.
It does get a little bit dodgy, of course, if the attackers are able to get access to Bookcase, because it's just an easy peek onto the door, and then they pop that window with no problem whatsoever. Even if there is someone holding a bar or whatever, it shouldn't be too risky of a peek to be able to take that down. But as long as they can prevent that and maintain top stairs control, that's obviously not going to be something that they'll really have to worry about. So we'll check back in with that once we get to the late round, because for the most part, if United does do what most teams do and executes into Aviation, then that mirror could work out really well for them, especially if we end up at a 20-second execute, which is commonly the current meta. United, of course, threw us for a run on the last time this site was defended by speeding that meta up by quite a bit with their aggression up the main stairs, but we didn't see that this time, so this leads us to believe we might see some more standard play from United.
Well, if it is standard play, it's probably not going to go as well as they think.
I like how they didn't know where to put the second mirror, so he puts it on the wall next to it so they can see in his study.
He just slapped it.
He's like, I'll just put it here, whatever.
He just slaps games. He's like, you can fit so many mirrors inside of this thing. I'm sorry. I know it's serious time. My bad.
I was wondering where that second mirror was going to go, and well, he made it pretty easy of a decision, didn't he? He just put it right next to the first one.
I mean, hey, it's good vision. And again, as you were talking about before, as long as they don't give up main pressure or main control, excuse me, then they don't have to worry about too much. And eUnited's going for a master clear. So this is exactly what Tempo Storm wanted to happen.
See Grixter, of course, doing a little bit of that top damage here, trying to look through the floorboards, but it's always the top that gets the advantage there. And it seems like Jarvis is certainly going to thrive with the holes that he opened up earlier. Takes out Grixter. Goodbye to the anti-roam for now.
Oh, this is going to really complicate things, John, as it doesn't matter about the top control. Oh, what? Oh, the wall opens, and Mark and Jarvis both get kills. Crazy's along for the ride as well. All of a sudden, Kansan just by himself outside on Study. I don't even know how to describe what just happened there. The wall opens, and Tempo Storm just wipe the floor with eUnited. It seemed like they weren't even prepared for people to have guns inside of the site. This is not an elderly home, folks. The people shoot back.
Kansan's still sitting outside trying to process exactly what just happened. Yes, I'm sure he's trying to get a lot of intel from his teammates right now before he makes a move. Obviously watching to see if someone from Tempo wanted to kind of double down on the pressure and swing over towards Master as well. Didn't end up getting that, as you guys can see, of course. Tempo is just going to chill. There's only 10 seconds left anyway. Kansas not even going to try this. It looks like they're just going to use the remaining time to talk this over and figure out what went wrong there so that hopefully they can correct that if there's going to be another attempt. But I don't even think that that's going to be... They could actually do this one more time. So yeah, probably talking about how this went down and seeing how they can change things up for the next go around if they do indeed end up selecting it again.
Okay, who was the Ashe there? Because I literally thought about it right before the lineup went away. Very unfortunate. Well, whoever the Ashe was, please don't do that again. That was the exact opposite of what you needed to do there. As soon as they put the Selma on, Ashe tried to pressure the door of Bar, but they couldn't do that because of the fallback was going to eventually get cut off from the Selma. So I feel like if it was Rexon, that he was trying to play with the timing that, okay, I peek the door and I get back before the Selma blows, but it got really, really messed up. And when he went to rotate back, the walls all of a sudden opened and there's just a hail of gunfire from every single angle imaginable that just eats everyone alive inside of 90.
Props to Tempo because they knew how dangerous that was going to be to let that wall be open and obviously allow eUnited to control the overall hallway and the rappel. So I think they kind of realized, like, okay, we have to kill these guys and we have to kill them now, because if not,
they just overload the wall.
They're going to open up that Mira, you know, like the entire site's just going to be we're not going to be able to play in sight if they do that. So that's when they get hyper aggressive, really double down on trying to kill them, and they succeed in every single gunfight. So props to Tempo for that heads up play right there.
Yeah, this is some very, very remarkable stuff by both of these squads so far. Remember, folks, if you guys, once again, are just joining us, this match is for a lot. We're very deep inside of a best-of-3 right now between these two teams, and whichever one of these teams loses goes into our relegation matchup against our top CL team. If they end up losing that, then job security out the window, folks. They got to go down to Challenger League and try and battle back through. And with the way that we have things set up right now, it doesn't happen quite too often. So this is a very, very big deal for both of these squads. eUnited now out on the field, though, and it looks to be a master clear for them. Jarvis with a lot of intel on that pulse, currently playing on the pantry stairs. Let's see how well Tempo can handle eUnited this time around.
Going to work its way in over towards the master bedroom and start to clear things out there. Jarvis, of course, getting a lot of intel from his current position downstairs here. Still going to be able to gather that pretty much for the entire round here, unless they find him on a top-down angle once again. Also going to see an early Selma utilized from the looks of things to open up that pantry wall, give them an angle to use on the rappel, and of course they want to move inside, give them a direct angle into the site if they decide to use this stairway for an execute at all. Alfama also opening up some stuff upstairs here too. They still have to clear out the roam game, that if there is going to be any presence from Tempo still remaining up here. So that's what the main crew is working on the second floor right now. We do indeed have that roaming presence coming primarily from Mark against the wall right now, but he's not alone either. Looks like he's got creators also helping him out, and to a certain extent Crazy here too, as he's playing on the Astra stairs, preventing the push from bathroom side.
Well, the delay's working so well for Tempo Storm right now as Mark's going to start getting aggressive towards construction, pre-fires through, but all the silhouettes still outside. This is actually a nice hold here from Creators, as he's worried about Boar as well as anyone pushing through 90. Doesn't want anyone to encroach on what's going on upstairs, and if he's able to continue holding this down, this delay could continue on even further from what it is. We're already halfway through the round, and this is starting to be quite a bit of time with no vertical play or really anything else to call back home for eUnited. Haven't even seen Yeti get inside to sledge once. He's still capped off at that 25 sledges.
Time still ticking down to a minute remaining here for eUnited to get themselves in, and they do not necessarily have a huge amount of control just as of yet, but it should still be enough for them to be able to work the site take. That's a good start as well. Rexen able to isolate out Jarvis. They find the position of another player, I believe, on the inside of Tarps off that quick little drone peek to the inside of the building. And away from that, you can see what the rest of the setup looks like here. Yeah, very nice kill, like we were talking about before there against Jarvis, being able to find him out. Now the question is United going to be able to successfully transfer any of this aggression downstairs? As is, often case, the question against sites like this. Dream fends off the first players trying to work their way back in here. He's got more coming around the corner here at any moment, so he whips out the shotgun. Going to be ready to take the play. They know he's coming too, but that doesn't stop him. Dream picks up another one. Kansan will at least keep the hopes alive as he takes down Crazy. But now Dream over to the SMG-11 finds himself the third on this round alone. Kansan also keeping up with that though as he finds his second. Dream eats a little bit of damage from the cellar. That's not going to matter. Some trigger to split, but no, it ends up costing him the kill. And off of that one, thankfully, Tempo will still end up winning because of the timers. The hesitation ends up working into their favor anyway.
Oh, some very scary stuff there for just a second. The SMG-11 just not boding to be the best weapon inside of that situation. Sometimes that thing just picks a spray pattern that is just completely uncontrollable for no apparent reason at all. And that's exactly what just happened to Dream. So almost a very unfortunate series of events for them, but they actually close out the round due to time. Thank God for that roam game upstairs by Tempo Storm, because it delayed everything that eUnited wanted to do. I mean, we started sludging up the floor at 30 seconds left inside of Master, and if you guys saw the amount of haste that was going on with that situation, oh my, they did not have any soft destruction done, which means you could still play inside of Dining, on the wall, everywhere where we saw those Tempo members. That's not the area in which they should be able to play if you have that top control, but since eUnited got control of it so late into the round, they weren't able to have such an influence through that vertical pressure like we're used to seeing. Amazing stuff from Tempo Storm to know when to fall back and allow eUnited to fall flat on their face.
So Tempo back in the game now, tying us up at 5-5. It seems like the series will indeed need to go the full distance. And an unfortunate truth here, this is really the oftentimes point where we've seen eUnited start to fall apart and be unable to close out series. I think that's something that we saw Jesse mentioning on the desk both at the beginning and I think right before this map got started as well. That issue once again beginning to show its ugly head here for eUnited.
Yeah, Jesse speaks a lot of truths, and I think the thing is that eUnited has been a squad that's been very formidable up against every single team that we've seen so far. We've been talking about that quite a bit today, but as you said, it seems that every single time that they get to this late game, they just crumble, and it isn't in some crazy fashion. It just seems to be that very minimal things start happening, and all of a sudden it snowballs, and eUnited can't stop it, and then the picks happen, and then the time happens, and then eventually they lose the game because of it. We're tied right now 5-5 in between these two squads. Nice pickup here for Rex, and as he apparently wants to turn the burners on. This is a pickup in the first 40 seconds, and we haven't seen one of those in quite some time.
Rexen goes hunting and gets himself quite a bit of a catch there as he takes down Creators. That's the Jaeger going down in one of the main roam players. Also one of the most impactful players on this team right now, just in terms of raw fragging capability as well. Dream, though, is the leader in that department. I mean, you won't see him probably come into the picture until a little bit later on, as of course he's on the smoke, so he's on your site anchor a little bit deeper in the actual play. Mark going to be over here on the Wamai, playing a little bit further out and close to the sites as well. He's on Astro duty right now. For eUnited, meanwhile, seen quite a few of them begin to put pressure into the master bedroom area. Only one or two players potentially actually going to be moving in there, though, as they have a few more just there for kind of utility support and potentially droning support in the meanwhile. Rexen doesn't want to give away the fact that he's here initially, was hoping he could swing around the corner and get off the kill if the player was still exposed. That's why he didn't shoot the goo mine right off the bat, but as you'll see, he'll go back to that. He's going to continue to chuck flashbangs in here, really just to scare that player more than anything else and allow him to establish the forward position, but still no luck on getting that player out into the open, so Rexen will continue to kind of draw back here. He doesn't want to trap himself in that very same corner because now Jarvis is out. Well, here we go. It's actually going to be Yeti that'll have to move in and take care of Jarvis here as they'll finally seal the deal with that kill.
I hate to say it, but standing inside of an angle right now is very ill-advised. And yet again, we're going to have a nice burn through for Tempo as they're able to shake down the man with the case. Bomb now down, and somebody's going to have to pick it up. Tempo Storm, even though they're down in man count, actually up inside of objective play right now. They still have Dream with the smokes as well as the Selma goes off to cut off Split. Dream now in a pretty bad situation as his cross is being held. He's going to try and smoke it off and then try and move across, but it's a fake. They try to handle the man inside of Master, but no, the bomb's still going to go off. Crazy gets one. Oh, Dream follows through, now down into the 1 versus 1, but it's an SMG-11 up against one of the most powerful guns in the entire game, folks. Very minimal HP for Dream as well. He's going to need wonders to make this happen. Sticking the diffuser right now as Grixer passes through, goes right in through Split, starts pre-firing, finally gets it. So many bullets inside of that LMG, and eUnited walk away with round 6, or excuse me, round 11.
Beautiful recovery, of course, after getting some great control off the bat here. The roam game from the folks over on Tempo, just not as effective this time at delaying the overall push because of the fact that eUnited are able to get that top red control pretty much right at the start of the round. You said it. Their opening kill comes at 40 seconds into the round. So with them already having that control, there's not a whole lot the roam game can do from Tempo to try and fight back against that, at least not with the positions that they were working with at that point. So that gives United so much time. I mean, we saw the battle against Jarvis that was holding behind the statue. I mean, they even had time to waste away on that battle, and it didn't really seem to come back to haunt them. Just a really solid overall take there from United.
I completely agree with you. There was really nothing wrong there with what eUnited did. They handled their map control really well, and they were able to lock down a lot of the plays that Tempo Storm wanted to create. I think that the most influential or the most creative one that we saw from Tempo Storm was definitely the fake smoke to try and make him back off the angle or swing wide, and inevitably able to get the kill there. Obviously, though, if we were able to keep Crazy alive in that situation, they more than likely win that round. But since Crazy gets down trying to kill the man, planting the diffuser, Tempo Storm end up losing instead. So we are going to have some change-ups here, though, as Mark has rotated downstairs to assign some reinforcements. Crazy's also going to reinforce the single panel for Pantry. So this is actually going to be a very, very big deal. eUnited's going to have to dedicate a Selma downstairs if they want to hold the cross for China, as well as if they want pressure inside of Dining. They're either going to have to go in through tarps or possibly dedicate some more hard destruction down there. So Tempo's forcing more options onto eUnited and not allowing them to handle the map how they did prior. I like the suggestion from Tempo Storm. Let's see if this works out, because it has to, John. If eUnited ends up winning this round, that's all she wrote, and Tempo's headed for relegation.
All right, folks, this is it from Tempo. They've got to win from this point forward, at least on this round, to trigger OT. Have a little bit of a forgiveness zone after this, but once again, it's Rexon off to a good start. He might be able to make it 2 as well, as he just got the spot on Creators. But Creators knows his team is down now. It's not advisable for him to get aggressive in this fight. If he can avoid it, he should absolutely take the ticket and get out of here. They need to keep people alive now.
Some major problems, but this roam game from Tempo Storm could be the assistance needed to bring this back to equal man count. Not the worst thing in the world, though, as Jarvis is off the board. Hasn't been too impactful thus far throughout the series, or at least inside of this map. 3, 4, and 10 right now. And since the goo mine is something that's time-based, not going to have nearly as many of those as they initially wanted. eUnited with a very, very nice initial pick here. Is this take from south and north working wonders so far?
Creators does successfully work his way out of that bad position and get closer towards the site. So they've been able to conserve their losses at least down to a 4v5 and can now focus on the site hole. But just like the last round, this is the same problem showing up once again. eUnited have all the outside site control that they could ask for at this point, maybe with the exception being Astro, of course. And they, still have half the round to go. So great positioning to work off of. There's still a little bit to work with downstairs as well, but they didn't really need to use the Astro side on their last execute. They can absolutely make this work once again with the control that they currently have.
Well, the big thing is there's quite a few layers for both of these squads. eUnited seems like they want to try and go for the statue take again, but Tempo Storm's already planned for this. They still have presence downstairs with Crazy and that Nitro Cell. So Tempo Storm's probably going to back up initially, and that's why we see Dream burning these smokes early to get the shield, adjust things, and try and slow down eUnited more. They want to try and make this a very low time to execute for eUnited, so they can eventually get that frag from underneath. But oh no, eUnited checking the boxes, take down Crazy. No more Nitro Cells. It's all down to the site players.
Mark might try to get aggressive here, and he could be a play that works out here. They're getting pushed up against the walls. The aggression might be what's needed. No, uses so many shots on the pre-fire, and Afama gets the double Yeti, finishes things off. What a way to end it for eUnited as they take a flawless round at the end of regulation and close out 7-5 on this map.
What a series in between these two. eUnited coming out on the top of the heap. 2-1 fashion. Taking away quite a few maps that in prior matchups not able to close out, but eUnited